Hi, I'm Olga. I'm a sophomore from Longmont, Colorado. I'm majoring in global studies, the concentration in international economic policy, with a double major in political science and a minor in Russian studies.
Hi everyone, I'm Jackson. I'm from New York City. I am a senior, double majoring in leadership studies and global studies with concentration in politics and governance and a minor in sustainability.
We were both interns in the office of Senator Boysko in the General Assembly.
I learned about it mainly from word of mouth. I had a friend who did the internship, and the way that they described it, it sounded fun, so I reached out to Dr. Palazzolo, who runs the entire program, to try and get some more information.
Also had a meeting with Dr. Palazzolo and then applied, and now we're here. Week to week, we're gonna have different speakers come in, people who are also involved in the General Assembly. Sometimes they're alums of U of R, which is always really fun. So we get to hear about their career trajectory, about how they got to where they are now, and then spend about like an hour and a half being able to just pick their brains and ask them questions about their policy decisions, how they got their jobs, where they want to go. And then at the end of the semester, we'll be compiling the information that we've learned from the session as well as from these seminar interviews into 3 papers that will help us kind of look at the more academic side of the General Assembly session. Yes, It's a 2-unit course. So that'll alternate depending on the year. Virginia has a bit of a special General Assembly structure in the fact that we alternate between a 45-day and a 60-day General Assembly session. This year it was a 45-day session. January, February is going to be when we go in for the internship, and then after that it transitions into a seminar class with Dr. Palazzolo. Dr. Palazzolo does a process in which you send him a list of policy areas that you're interested about, and then your partisan alliances, what kind of policy you'd want to engage with. From there, he has a list of offices that he's partnered with before, so he'll recommend you to interview with an office or 2, and then you complete your interview usually with the chief of staff of whatever office, and then if they decide that they want to work with you, then you get extended an internship offer.
Yeah.
It was like 90% in person until we had snow, but generally speaking, it's an in-person internship, so we go down to the General Assembly building for about 20 hours a week. The Center for Civic Engagement was really helpful in coordinating that for us. So they have a service shuttle program where they have University of Richmond shuttles that take you down and back to General Assembly, and then if your hours are outside of normal ones, then they'll also provide you with Uber vouchers to help subsidize the other transportation fees.
It was professional, obviously, but also cordial. A lot of people knew each other. There was definitely some movement between legislative assistants who had worked in one office moving to the next. Just a very overall friendly but professional attitude.
So at first we were doing a lot of bill work, so each of us were assigned to several different bills that Senator Boysko was patroning, and we were helping write statements, keep in touch with stakeholders. We also took meetings or sat in on meetings with various lobbying groups, constituents, and other humans who came by the office. Got to meet and speak to different legislators to coordinate our policy decisions with their offices.
In the background, there was a lot of administrative work, a lot of doing emails. If there was one thing that was permanent, it was the emails. Always the emails, but hey, that is part of the job. So I'd say I gained a lot. I think the biggest skill that I gained is just navigating a legislative environment like that, getting a handle of sort of some of the nuances, some of the things that you do and don't do, how to take meetings, how to do bill research, how just even committee meetings work was very important. Something that I will say time and time again is you can't learn it all in a classroom. Like, you can read about it in a textbook, but it's a different thing seeing it in person.
Yeah. highlight was we had an evening where we went to the governor's mansion legislative reception and then went to the LSU legislative reception at the library downtown. So both of those events were really fun. We met legislative aides and interns from other offices and were able to learn more about their experiences and what they were doing in their work. At the very end of session, the legislative aides hosted a mock bill presentation for us. So what that entailed was that each intern who presented, I was one of them, picked a bill from a previous legislative session that spoke to them. I picked out a bill that Senator Boysko had patroned in the last session about wage and salary history. For the presentation itself, put together a kind of bill presentation. So I had a statement written, talking points, had prepared answers to questions, and then there were other folks who were there to pretend, or mock if you will, speak in opposition or in support of your bill, and then you navigate that as though it's a subcommittee meeting. So that was a really interesting time.
It was very fun taking the role of some of the advocates supporting and opposing. You really get to play it up for the crowd.